kitten. Hello, Augie. Eddie. Hello and welcome back to Art Therapy with Jen. Today I am doing a page in my Ideas art journal. We're going to be using magazine and we're going to be doing a little bit of paint later on, some paint markers, pens, and a few other things later on in the page. Just whatever strikes my fancy as it goes on here. And this is going to be a little bit longer of my usual videos because I thought we would do the page and that we would also do a catch-up chat. So if you like the more like chatty videos, this one should be right up your alley because I want to catch up with y'all. It has been a hot minute and I missed y'all. I miss journaling. I miss this channel and I am sorry for taking such a long break. But as we'll get into a little bit later, life got quite a bit crazy, y'all. So first, y'all see me on the page there. I am just starting my background and I'm really out of practice, y'all. Like, I have not even art journaled since I've uploaded, so it has been a few months and I almost felt nervous, like, what do I do? What am I doing? Like, what is life? And luckily I have this manila folder beside my desk here, and anytime I have a image left over from another page that I didn't use, or just an image I think is interesting, I stick it in there. So when I want to just sit down and journal real quick and not dig through anything, I just pull out of there. And so that's where all these images are coming from. They're from all different kinds of magazines, from all different time periods, just having fun with it. And when I get stuck, as I said before, I just start taking like texture and patterned images and I tear them in half and I put them on either side of the page to kind of start that symmetry and get that flow of the page going and just see where it goes. Rip them up. Y'all know I just go with it. We're just going to have fun, and you know, I want to get back to the point where I don't have that kind of nervousness. Do y'all get that when you haven't done anything for a little while, even if it's something that you used to do all the time? It's almost like you're learning it all over again. So I just wanted to get in there and finally do a page. Another reason I haven't art journaled in a while, the last quarter of 2019 was just crazy busy, y'all. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. It was just crazy. And when I get really stressed and things get crazy, like, you can always tell in my environment, like, stuff gets piled, the organization definitely goes downhill, all that good stuff. And my office in here was just it was just awful. It was a mess. It was a junk pile. My art supplies weren't organized in a way that, I don't know how to say it, y'all. I have figured out I am a person that if my environment is really chaotic and disorderly, I can't be creative. Does that make sense? Like, I want my pages to be kind of like chaotic with the, you know, I rip the pages and I want to add and combine all these different colors and just, like, you know, who cares, you know, I don't need no rules, get out my way, you know, that type of thing. But as far as my environment goes, there has to be some type of system, some type of order, so that I can sit down and let that creativity flow. Does that make sense? It's almost like it feels weird to me, like I have to have my hot drink or, you know, whatever I'm drinking. I think I had cold brew and macadamia milk for this particular page. I have to have my show on the TV there, Netflix, Hulu, or something, and just have everything laid out and just make it like a moment. And if I have things piled all around me and all of that, I can't do it. I don't know. It's like a block in my brain. So I finally spent a couple weeks after I had my finals at the end of last year and got my office back in order, took stock of all my like craft and art supplies, and then I really felt good about going forward. I had a system in place. I don't know. I see some people, they're able to, and I think it's so cool because they post on Instagram and the pictures are so neat, where they're able to just work in this super like chaotic space, and it just sparks inspiration for them. And they, they'll have several jars with like water and paint brushes, and they'll have glue sitting everywhere and just little bits of paper all over the place. And I just find it so fascinating because I used to be that way, but since I've gotten older, I've become the exact opposite. I mean, even after I journal a page, I clean up everything. So, and it has to get set to the side. So, I don't know. Maybe it's because I use my space for so many different purposes, but I don't know. Like, who am I? Those of y'all that have been with me for a very long time, especially on my main channel that I've had for several years, I used to like live in hoarder paradise in this room in here that I journal and stuff in, and now I just can't stand it. Like, I have to have it orderly. Like, who am I? But anyway, let's talk about the page for the moment again. So y'all see I'm still going through and just ripping. I'm still very much into the like ripped edge look of things. I don't know why. I just like that so much better than the smooth edge. And I'm just going through and these images and ripping them up, and I turn them every which way. It doesn't matter to me what the original image is. Like, I'll turn it upside down. To me, I'm looking at the shapes and the textures and the pattern and what makes sense for me on the page. So we just turn it however we want to, and yeah. Nobody got hurt in the process, and it was fun, except for maybe my glue stick. I think I have some underlying aggression because I push those glue sticks hard. Like, I need to be more gentle with them, And also to note here too, hopefully the sound is okay, guys. I am using the same mic that I was using before, but I got one of these like Lord, I don't know the technical term. I need to start learning these things, but maybe like a wind thing. I don't know. It's a spongy sock looking doohickey that you put over the top of it, and it's supposed to cut out a lot of like breath sounds and wind and like breathing and whatever. I can't, like, I know some people like that with like ASMR and stuff, but I do not like mouth sounds, like eating videos. I just, my body wants to cringe into itself just thinking about it. Like, I understand that some people like it. I am not one of those people. So although some of those sounds are kind of nice when they like crush up ice and like they wet the floral foam. I did like that one, so that was pretty good. I always joke at work that we need to make a video and have it go viral and just retire of like, daily office sounds and like the sounds of the machines and typing, and I don't know. That may trigger some people though. Like, oh, that's work. But anyway, back to the page. I'm trying to fill that background and get it to something. I still am using that same process. I start with filling up the background and again just figuring out what my colors are there, what elements we're going to add, and once I fill up the background, then I move to the next step. I do not like pre-plan my pages in that, I set everything on there before it's glued, like taking all the images and setting them on the page not glued to see what arrangement you're going to use and everything. I really do just piece by piece, and I hold it up and I glue it one by one, and that just works for me and I don't question it. I don't know, it's kind of neat. I wish I had started filming my art process and stuff like way back in the day, because it's just evolved so much. So that reminds me too, next time I hang out with my friend Shannon, she still has my like original collage that I did, because when I was in I can't remember if it was middle school or high school. I think it was high school. It was like around when CSI came out, so I think I was in high school at that time, because that was like 2000, 99, 2000. But we were like huge, like Grissom fans and stuff. And Nick, anyway, I need to get on like Netflix or Hulu and rewatch me some CSI. But I just remember that because there was the CSI in that collage that I made her. And, I come from a very humble family, and I did not have any money to buy friends like these fancy gifts and stuff. And, when you're in like middle school and high school, kids are getting like insanely, well, not compared to today, but back then, like really expensive stuff. I think the big thing was Old Navy fleece pullovers at the time. When those first came out, and all those, and I just wasn't a person that could afford stuff like that. So I would go and get these magazines. I would get them for free from like the library, and my dad and stuff, he had a lot of magazines, and I would just keep those and cut images out of them, and I would find stuff that would remind me of the person, and I would kind of make their personality on a collage board. And it was so fun. And she still has hers, bless her heart. Like, gosh, we've been friends forever. We've connected back again recently, and it's been amazing. I need to go and hang out with her again soon. She's had her creative endeavors now as well. She's actually running a business where she hand makes a lot of decor items that are like rustic farmhouse. I mean, she's got such a good eye for design. I'm totally opposite. I'm a functionalist. So, yeah, teach me your ways. But she still has that hung in her office. She showed me last time I was over there, that collage that's probably at least 20 years old now. And I used to get these frames from Goodwill that were like 50 cents or $1 picture frames. And I would take old nail polish that I had, and I would paint the frames and everything. And I don't know. I just thought that was neat. Don't know where I was going with that, but it's just neat to see stuff like that. I need to get a picture of that next time I'm over there. So anyway, we'll pause in my rambles for a minute. I have the background where I like it. And since it's been a little while since I've filmed y'all, I forgot to do the close-up in this part, so I do apologize. But now we're getting to putting my focal images, or my cast of characters for this page, as you will, because y'all know I like to have a story or kind of a vibe or theme for a page. And I have this cat just spoke to me. I think it's the Fancy Feast kitty. And just this white precious cat. And it's so funny, in this book it seems like I have an animal on just about every page. So why not continue that trend, right? I mean, you can't have too many cats. I think I have proven that in my cat ladiness. If I had a large house, I'd have even more cats. But now I'm going through the different images I had in the folder, and I'm just ripping out the white space just so that I can hold it up on the page and see if they belong there, if you will. And just seeing, what cast vibes together, and y'all know all that good business. We don't have strict rules here. We just tear glue and go, right? Oh, just having some fun. And these come from fashion magazines, health magazines. That one you see up top there that has the blonde girl with the green shirt and the red shirt, that is actually a clothing free catalog that comes in the mail that I get. You can find images everywhere, y'all. One day I need to sit down and actually do a video to show y'all about finding images that aren't in magazines, because I know that quite a few of y'all have told me in the past that it's more difficult for you to get a hold of magazines, especially for free, because I mean, unless you really like a magazine, it's one of those you're going to be reading the articles and tons on. I mean, I don't know, maybe I'm cheap, because you can get them for free so often from, like, if you work at an office that orders magazines, or free offers, or I don't know, just people libraries sometimes will sell them for, like, I've seen them around here, they'll sell them for like $0.25 an issue or something like that. So one day, I have been saving a lot of found or like true junk for a junk journal stuff that's like packaging and things like that, junk mail, that I'm going to play around with here one of these days. And now that I've picked my images, I'm just tearing them to see kind of how I can get the shape where I want it and where I want them on this page. Just what makes sense, what flows, kind of in my mind. I'm looking at the way that they're facing, because I really want, like, there's a direction that goes with it, if that makes sense. Like, I don't know how to describe it because I'm not an art student. I didn't learn all those rules, but it's just the way that it works for my eye, if that makes sense. Like how all these girls fit together and how their direction causes your eye to travel across the page. And they kind of fit together and almost that spiral, because my eye goes from the girl in the green to the girl on the right side by the sunglasses down to the girl who's facing out, if that makes sense. And then you have the cat, because the cat is just the boss by itself, you know what I mean? But anyway, and now that I have my people on there, we're going to look at some words. So I just had a few words in here, so I wanted to make them work together. And that ad right there for that fancy feast, those savory centers, I tell y'all what, my cats, that is like their jam, I tell you. And I can't find them here around here, so I don't know if they're not selling them much anymore or they sold out, but gosh, they love those things. So it's like, it's got that, like meat jello and y'all know, and then it's got like gravy in the middle when they start eating into it, and they are obsessed. But again, I'm just going around and cutting out words. Let me know, y'all, if you do like these videos where I have slowed it down quite a bit and I'm just talking more, because typically I speed my process up quite a bit more, and I don't include all this of my cutting out stuff, and I just kind of go through it a lot faster, and I just decided to do it slower this time. I'm also using a not a different editor, but my editor that I have been using had this massive update, and the whole interface is different. All the controls are different and everything. So I'm trying to learn to use this program, since, it's one I've already paid for, instead of having to buy another one. And the speed settings are different, and we're figuring it out. We got this. But yeah, just let me know. Hopefully this is okay and the sound's okay. If it is, I am stepping up in this world, y'all. At this point with the words as well, that's just another layer to the story. I try to put different clips together to kind of tell a story, or in my head it's like, you would have those movie posters or even the back of a book or something, and you just have snippets from it, and it's trying to tell you this story in these little like word snippets, or it's trying to raise a question in these snippets, or these are what tells you like how they fit together, if that makes sense. I don't know, y'all. I'm going with it. I'm just home after a longer than 10-hour shift today. Fridays are my long days, and I just came home from work tonight. I'm huddled up in my little office here in the corner of the house, and I thought, hey, I'm going to get ahead and I'm going to sit in here and do this voiceover. So if I sound a little goofy or my brain's a little just not here, y'all just forgive me. It's been a long day. I've been on my feet all day. It has been cold as whiz outside. I mean, we had, I think, flurries all day, and it was like 60 something degrees yesterday. Like, I don't know what the weather's doing, but it needs to get over itself. Just been one of those days, and I got to get up pretty early tomorrow and go to work as well, but only a half day. All right, we're gonna get these words placed here, and again, I do apologize. It's been a little while since I filmed, so typically every step I do, I will take my phone and I'll film a close-up, which I do have them later on, but I just totally forgot until I did that. And I was like, crap, I am so out of practice. And I also filmed different parts of this video. This page in real time actually took me about 3 weeks. So I filmed it in 3 different sections over 3 different weekends to finish the page, just as I had time. So if the lighting's a little bit different or just what have you, just go with it, y'all. Just go with it. But just having fun with it. So I want to tell y'all the words that are on the left side there. So the little snippet, the girl with the green blouse, it says, I never learned her name or saw her again, but she did me a kindness I'll take to my grave. And then moving down from that, it says, what I know for sure. And then going down under the brunette, it says, I want my existence to have meant something. And then let's go to the right side. It says, let's continue to ask ourselves and one another why. So I thought that fit together all right for me. And let's see. Oh, and now I'm looking, I see I got a couple holes up top there, and I'm just trying to put different bits, because I save all my little ripped off bits to use. I don't know, I like using them. But now that we're into this page, and we're going to finish this, and y'all will see a close-up of the page as well. Let's talk about what's been happening since I've been gone, guys. First off, I've seen some of y'all's art journal pages on Instagram, and holy crap, are they inspirational. I mean, like, it just tingles all the creativity in me, you know. So I really do appreciate those of y'all that share your pages, you know, either with me or on Instagram, or just putting it out there, because number one, it takes a lot to put your art out there and your projects out there, because it is, at least to me, such a personal thing. And you know what I mean? It takes a lot. So when people are sharing that and everything, it just thank y'all. It just keeps you inspired. Any of us that aren't able to journal for a while, it just keeps that fuel going. And let's do a close-up here, and then we'll get into what has been going on. Sounds so ominous, doesn't it? So here's what it is looking like so far. I wish I could wear sunglasses like that, y'all, but I got really bad eyes and really thick glasses. I do have some decent prescription sunglasses, though, and I can't wear contacts, which sucks. But anyway, so we're and y'all will be seeing me. I'm going in with paint, and I just start playing around. Like, I know I want to use it, but it takes me a little bit to get where I want to go, if you know what I mean. So I'm using just apple barrel paint, gray and white, and that is in an old zucchini packaging that came from Aldi. I save all those little plastic trays to use with paint and stuff. But let me see, I think the last time I checked in with y'all, I got a new job. So I got offered a new job. I had been in a job for the last few years that especially the last couple years, it became just a crazy, stressful, and toxic situation that I did not realize how much it affected me truly until I got out, and how crazy some of the stuff was until I got out and I'm somewhere where I don't have to put up with any of that stuff. And that's all. We'll get into that because honestly, I'm just so happy to be out, and all that old stuff is not my problem anymore. So I don't see a point in dwelling on it. But I started this new job in October, and right in the middle of this job transition that was super stressful and just crazy and big life things, you know. I had my midterms, because I do go to school as well, and last semester, y'all, those classes I had were so time intensive. Like, all I literally did was go to sleep, get up, go to work, come home, study, go to bed. That is all I did. My weekends, from the time I woke up to the time I went to bed, I did homework, because I had a class that just has so much readings and so many papers, and it was crazy. But I did it. So that was a lot of it. So I had this job transition. I had like the midterms, like I said, in the middle of that, we started renovating our cabinets in the kitchen. Over 40-year-old golden oak cabinets, well used, and we're doing them like the right way so the finish lasts forever, hopefully. We're taking them from polyurethane golden oak to white enamel. So that has been a process. We almost have that done because we DIY everything, we're cash flowing everything, and just where I'm so limited on time, it's just taken a very long time. So that has been another huge thing. And then right after I started this new job, I kind of went straight into finals and final projects. And like I said, I literally did nothing but work in school, and which I ended up making 100 in my accounting course, woo woo, and then my A in my other course. So totally happy about that because I'm cash flowing school as well. I do a big portion of my income into school, and you bet your butt I'm going to make an A if I'm going to the trouble. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to pay money to fail at something. We're not doing it. I wouldn't waste my time if that. And just briefly, if y'all see me on the screen there, I'm just taking that gray and white and mushing it together so that it's not just such a solid one color. It has different colors all in it, and I'm just layering it up so that it is opaque over that magazine. And I was so stressed out and so just burnt out at the end of finals and everything, because I was having midterms and finals and doing all this training, and while I'm in the same field, totally different system, I feel like I've jumped ahead 3 decades because the company that I'm with now is so super innovative and just on the cusp of everything that it has just been different. And then going from a position where I was kind of the expert in a way in my position to going to being the new kid again has definitely been a transition. But I was so just stressed out, and just like, it's like you hold everything in, and then when it's over, you just like, I can't do anything for 2 weeks. And caught up on my sleep. It took me a few weeks to get my office back in order, because when I get stressed and I have no time, stuff just falls by the wayside. There ain't any other way to say it, and it just became a junk heap in here. I couldn't really get to my art supplies. I wasn't inspired, like I said before, because I have to have my area a certain way. Like, I have to know things are a certain way. I don't know, it's crazy, y'all. And just other things going on. I had fallen off my diet at the time, which gave me even less energy. And I had no time, and I just didn't art journal or do anything creative, or I don't know. So finally, in the last 2-3 weeks or so, I've started getting things under control. I started back for my last semester at the community college, because I'll be graduating from there the end of this semester and moving up to another college so I can take the last bit of the accounting stuff that I'm in. I'm in accounting, by the way. I don't know if I mentioned that, because again, if I'm going to go to the trouble, I'm going to go to all the trouble. I'm going to get the CPA and really make a good living. It's my whole goal out of that. I want to have a career, and I want to be paid to where it's not a struggle all the time. Work too hard to make so little, pretty much. And I think that's a really good field to go into, and I'm a weirdo and I enjoy that stuff. So, and just to go back to the page briefly, so I am taking a black apple barrel paint, and I'm just going around the edges, making a border, filling in any parts of the paper that's still exposed that didn't get covered with magazine. And then once that's about half dry, I'm just going in with my finger and kind of feathering it out so it's not such a hard line on there. So yeah, there's just been a lot of stuff going on. I'm trying to make this year just a more priority. Like, I don't know. I need to clone myself or something. I don't know. But definitely this new job has helped so much with my schedule, with my sanity and all of that. Because even though I'm taking 2 classes again this semester, I feel like I have much more of a handle on everything just because my schedule is so much better, and I'm somewhere that is super encouraging for people going back to school, which is such a departure from what I was used to. I mean, they're so happy that you want to better yourself and everything. So, digging that. And I just wish that I could get all those fun grants and scholarships and stuff, but I already have a bachelor's degree, so I'm just paying stuff for cash. But anyway, whole nother story, whole nother day. And I'm just so happy to be back journaling, y'all. I miss it. I truly love it. I started art journaling when I was going through some pretty big health stuff that was really scary back about 5 years ago or so. And before that, I would just do collage like on a poster board or something, like I was telling y'all. And to do it in a book and everything, it's just been so much fun, and I'm glad to stick with it. And it truly is, like I said, art therapy with Jen. So, and going back to the page again, y'all. I don't know what I'm doing with this paint, but I'm having fun with it. Like I said, I'm trying to get back in my groove. I'm trying to get back to where, as I've said, the page speaks to me and tells me what it needs. So I'm just playing around with that paint, y'all. Now, I will say, if you're going to put paint on top of your magazine clippings and stuff, don't be mushing the brush around too much, because, again, that is paper. And it will soak that up, and you could rip it or something like that. So do be careful with that if you're painting on top. I just wanted to put like these tendrils coming out, and I don't know, just whatever I want, y'all. Just do whatever you want. I mean, nobody's gonna come to your house and be like, you can't add that. And I mean, it's not fancy paint. It's apple barrel paint. If you're not familiar with that, it's usually at Walmart for 50 cents a tube. So, you can really, all you need is, like, I would say, if you're going to buy 1 paint, buy a white paint, 2 paints, buy a black paint, and 3 paints, buy like a gray paint, or maybe like a hot pink paint. And then just mix them together. And, well, yeah, you don't even need to buy gray, because you mix black and white together and you do all right. So, honestly, that's $1, and you can do so many things with it. All right, and now that paint has dried, so I'm going to get my handy dandy little like marker pencil case that I got recently that I am loving. I got on a whole stationery kick. Now I'm just using a black Posca pen, and this is basically just a paint pen, and I'm going around and outlining the words, because I wasn't going to, and then I was like, nah, I'm going to. What an explanation, right? Just to make them stand out some more, because I felt like they were kind of blending in with the page. And I'm just going around them very loosely, not worrying about straight lines. I want it to look kind of a little grungy, And what am I doing there? Oh, I'm playing around in my pencil case. I don't know. Like I said, I'm like an organizational person now. I like everything to kind of have its little place. Been in a decluttering journey for the last few years, and I want everything where it needs to go. And this is my Posca pen that's mostly dried up, so I'm just going around and basically just grunging it up a little more, because it's dried up. It ain't gonna do nothing. I've had those for quite a while too. I've never bought any of the other colors of Posca pens. I've just bought black and white, because that's all I've ever needed. It's another thing I learned. I got on that whole kick watching all these YouTubers buy collections of things, and I was totally in there, y'all. When I first started YouTube, I was a haul channel, bargain hauls, and just the amount of crap I would buy was just crazy. And been there, done that. That's why I can say, and it was the same for a hot minute with art supply, because I see all these people using all these expensive, pretty, shiny art supplies, and they do wonderful things with them, don't get me wrong. But, like, I don't need a whole set of these. Like, I just need the black and white ones, and I'm good. You know what I mean? So, don't think you have to have a ton of supplies or shell out a lot of money to do art journaling. You don't need it. I mean, are those tools fun to use? Heck yeah, they are. But you don't need them. Oh, and then I found a little smaller Posca that I didn't know I had. It hadn't even been activated yet. So, buddy, I activated that sucker and started using it on top of that paint just to add some texture. I'm just adding some curly cues and going on. Kind of looks like cat hair a little bit. Or like, hair that gets dropped at your desk or stuff. That just reminds me. I work with all women at my work now, although we have a lot more employees where I'm at. And we always joke, like, because there's always hair everywhere. We shed. Like, how are we not all bald? You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel sorry for any of the guys that come through here and we'll be like, whose hair is this? Try to figure it out. Anyway, whole nother story, whole nother day. And now I'm just going through and looking. I have some gel pens, and I'm trying to figure out which ones work better than others, because my white gel pens are completely dried up, and I've just not bought any new ones because I figure I have white paint. I have other stuff that I can use until I buy more, but I've used up all my white gel pens. So see, I'm breaking out the Apple Barrel White again, because why not? I think that big container of that Apple Barrel is like, what, $1.50 or something, or $2. I don't know. I know when you break it down by ounces, the little bottles are cheaper, which I found very weird. And I'm just taking some like straight to my finger, and I'm just kind of making, I don't know what you call it, just like faded kind of lines going out from the words, just to give the page some more movement. I felt like it was just too, I don't know, like stagnant, just to give it some movement. And I'm not making it completely opaque. I want the images underneath to show through, almost like, I guess, like a light beam or something like that. I don't know. Again, just having fun with it. Add some texture to it. I'm trying to get brave again and not nervous to just put some crap on a page and see what happens, We're going to get there, y'all. We're going to get there. I'm just so stoked to be back art journaling. And I wanted to thank y'all too for all the comments you were leaving me. Sorry if it's taken me a little bit to get back to comments. I really rely on the YouTube Creator app on my phone. Typically I get notifications when I have comments, and so on my lunch breaks I would sit and answer all the comments and everything. That was kind of like my lunch break thing to do, and I did not get notifications. And I go on there and there's all these comments, and I'm like, WTF, Creator app. So I do apologize for that. I just need to make me a reminder to check the app. And here I decided to play around with something that I don't play around with very often. I thought that it just wasn't colorful enough, those little things I painted down. So this is a Marabou art crayon, I think it's called. It's like a soft pastel, basically. I mean, kind of like a distress crayon. I think Tim Holtz, or a like gelato or something like that. This is the Marabou one. And I hadn't really ever used these much before, but they were here beside my desk, and I got them on a Black Friday sale like 2-3 years ago, and sad to say they've sat there. So I'm just putting a little bit down in the circle, and then I'm just taking my finger and kind of feathering them out, blending them out. And I really like what it does. I didn't add any water to it. I think these are water reactive. I'm just using my finger, and I like this like soft blending effect it was giving me, and it just started becoming magical at this point, and I got really excited because I really liked the way that it looked. So I'm going in with different colors. This time I'm using a distress crayon, Again, got it back like 2-3 years ago. Like I said, I got in on the hype and I'm buying like all this different stuff. And this one's the same way. It's like a soft pastel, and you just put some down and blend it out. I'm sure there are appropriate blending tools. I'm using my middle finger and maybe my pointer finger in a couple places, but you know, it's just fun. I think with my art journaling, if you watch me for a while, I like to get my hands in there. Number one, because I don't have good coordination with brushes. Number two, I don't have really good depth perception because I got, again, big thick glasses, and I don't know, I have more control over my fingers, so we just have fun with it. See, all those colors are kind of blending together, and it's just fun. And now I'm trying to figure out, I have to add a third color because I don't like doing things in evens. I don't like having the amount of words in evens. I don't like having like the tendrils in evens. Like, I don't like it. I have to have odds. So I'm going in with a third color, and it's just this fun, like, limey green type color, and I think it blended very nicely, and it just adds, like, I don't know, a whimsical, or, like, in my eyes, like a magical element to the page. You know, magical Lisa Frankie type of stuff. Can y'all believe that stuff's popular again? Side note, I've seen people talking about, like, Trapper Keepers and, Lisa Frank and stuff. Like, I'm finally at that age where, like, all the stuff I grew up with, like, kids are using it. It's like retro stuff that kids are using. Like, it's so weird to me. Like the 90s stuff, like the music. I'm just like, I remember when that first happened. I am at that age now, I guess, apparently. It's another thing too, where I work now, I'm older than most of the people there, so I have no idea what they're talking about half the time. I just found out what TikTok was the other day. No idea. And I didn't like that stark pink there on the page, so I decided to write something down. I think I wrote positive. I can't read my writing, ain't that sad. Positive influence, maybe. Forever multiplying, or we're going with it. And I'm just going to sign my little name there. I did this page on February 5th, 2020. So hopefully I will get the video out to y'all in not too long. And we're just going to take a final look at the page here. And again, thank y'all so much. Thank y'all for listening to me chatting to go on and get back into my art journaling. Hope y'all have a fabulous day, and I will see y'all next time. Bye.